We must always give salute to the mighty legacy of the Black Panther Party. Thank you, Panthers. I was told by my Panther comrades, we don't say former Panthers, is that right? Ain't nothing former about it. Once a Panther, always a Panther, right? I said the real ones, ain't no former about it. And so we're gonna bring up some of our Panther comrades to speak truth to power. We're gonna get them speaking. We're gonna bring this collective right here. They ready to go? Yeah, they right here. Let's come on out. We're gonna bring up Queen Mama Zinga. Then we're gonna bring up, we got some of the other comrades, some of the other elders who are gonna join. We got Sister Barbara Easley, Barbara Cox. We got Sister Regina Jennings. These have been people who should be your inspiration and ours, who have laid it all out on the line for many years. These are giants in our midst, family. We got Brother Shep here, who's always been on the front lines in New York City. Shout out to Brother Shep. I know, I see him. And last, bring the Cubs up too. If the Cubs want to come up, come on Cubs, Panther Cubs. Come on through, if you're willing and able to come up, Panther Cubs. I'm gonna bring up this person last. I'm gonna let him sit for a little bit. But thank you, Chairman Fred. He spoke earlier at the rally, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. And somebody who's very important to the history of not only the Black Panther Party, but the Black Liberation Army. You hear him with Dr. Jared Ball often, and Kalanji and them on Black Power Media. Shout out to Black Power Media, y'all. All right. But we're talking about, in our opinion, the great comrade who is making his way up as well. We got, give it up, y'all, for Sundiata Acoli, y'all. I said, give it up for Sundiata Acoli. Stand up, please. If you're able to stand, I want you to stand for Sundiata Acoli. Hands off Asada. Hands off Asada. Hands off Asada. And then we want to bring up our brother, as we said. I know. As I was saying, though, I wanted to bring him up last, and that's somebody who we love dearly, who came from a long way, miles and miles and miles and miles across the waters to be with us tonight. That's Dhoruba bin Wahad, y'all. Black Power. So, how we doing this? So we're gonna let Mama and Zinga and Dhoruba provide the words, and then we'll keep moving. So I'm gonna give y'all the microphone, and then y'all can provide a few words for us.
Before me and Dhoruba speak about anything, we want everybody on this stage to say who they are and what chapter they represent.
Brother Shep, New York State Chapter, Harlem, Bronx. Brother Tyreek, I'm from the Brooklyn chapter. Peace.
Regina Jennings, I was a Philadelphia girl, but I jumped a late plane to go to Oakland before they were Panthers in Philly. So I'm an East Oakland Panther.
All power to the people, black power to black people, Panther power to the vanguard. Ade Oba Tokumbo, Harlem Branch.
Barbara Easley Cox, Oakland, New York, Philadelphia, International Chapter of the Black Panther Party!
Sundiata Acoli. Harlem chapter.
Step aside. Step aside.
Bill Brown, Philadelphia chapter.
I'm the Panther Cub, daughter of Russell Maroon Schultz out of Philadelphia. Woo!
I'm the daughter of Bilal Sunni Ali and Falani Sunni Ali of the Harlem Bronx chapter, the notorious Harlem Bronx chapter in New York.
I'm Dadaji Odinga, the son of Sekou Odinga from the Bronx Harlem chapter, the notorious Bronx Harlem chapter. Fred, my cousin Fred.
Right on. I'm honored and humbled to be here. I'm Chairman Fred Hampton Jr., son of Deputy Chairman Fred Hampton, also Raku and Jerry for me, Deborah Johnson. Love, respect, power to the people. Right on.
I'm Nana Akuya Enum Oyemi Niamiche. I'm also AKA Patty Bird. You know, I'm all those. And when I answer to whatever someone is calling me, because my cubs over there, they call me Bad Baby. No matter where I am, if I hear somebody holler, Bad Baby, I said, them cubs, they ratting me out. But they be looking out for me. They be making sure that I'm all right and I'm safe. And I'm just proud for this moment that we're being honored. And I just want to say a few of these political prisoners' names. And if I don't say a political prisoner that you know, after I'm through, please shout out. Brother Alameen Jamal, Jaleel Alameen, and Veronica Bowser, who will be out May 7th or 8th. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. Zulu Whitmore, Kamal Siddiqui, Joseph Bowden, Ronald Reed. Anybody that y'all know that I'm missing?
Kwame Shakur, young brother from Indiana, Prison Lives Matter.
Free Mumia Abu-Jamal. And we're not talking about later, we're talking about right now. Right now. It's important, and we've got to keep the holler out. The people can move and move mountains. So let's move them. We need Mumia home. His health is not good, and we need him home where we can take care of him and put him back in good health. So I'm going to turn this over to my brother, and I'm going to stand here. Get my brother's love.
Power to the people. Power to the people. Power to the people.
The power belongs to the people. Don't ask for it, take it. It's yours.
I just want to say briefly that my comrade Mumia Abu-Jamal, the brilliant writer, brilliant analyst and speaker who has spoken for the voiceless all of his young adult life until this very moment at 70 years old. Mumia has been a valuable asset to the liberation of African people in the diaspora. He is well known around the world. He is revered and loved by people, oppressed people everywhere. And it's because of the work of brothers and sisters like yourself and like my comrades here from the original Black Panther Party that Mumia's name still resonates. We have lost comrades in the last year. We have lost my beloved comrade, Sekou Odinga. Lee Barry, Blood McCrary. We have lost so many of our brothers and sisters. Some brothers and sisters can't be here today, like Jamal Joseph, like so many other brothers, Jaleel Mutakim. And my comrades, I just want to say to this. My generation is the last of the loud. And we have lived our time and we have fought our fight, but our fight is not over. And we are here today in our minds and bodies, as feeble and strong as they may seem and they may be. Nobody gets out this life alive. But the purpose that we are here for on this life, in this life, is the purpose that Allah put us here for, the Creator put us here for. And that we are the dreams of our ancestors who were brought over in chains. We were their dream. That one day they would rise up amongst them, a generation that would fight for our liberation and fight for our freedom and not give up that fight. And I'm honored to be here with comrades who walked that walk with me, who fought that fought with me, and who I would give my life for, and they would willingly have given theirs for me. But I want to say one thing right now, that we are living in a historical moment. Yes. These are crying times and these are liberating times. We cannot back down. We have to build the type of infrastructure and networks that will allow our people to feel their freedom, and we have to understand something. We had a saying in the Black Liberation Army whenever we went out on a mission, whenever we went out on a task. And we would look each other in the eye, and we would stand firm with each other. We check our weapons, and we say, blood to the horse's brow and woe to those who cannot swim. Blood to the horse's brow and woe to those who cannot swim. And what that meant was, once we stepped out that door, once we were committed to our struggle on the armed front, that we were taking no hostages, we were taking no prisoners, and those who couldn't swim, those who couldn't survive the wrath of the people, woe to them. Twyman Myers is not here. Frank Fields is not here. These are comrades that died in combat. Well, we have to understand, just like Hamas, you cannot take the liberation struggle away from a people and kill their will to survive and defend themselves and defend their people. So when we look at what's happening in Palestine right now, in this historical moment, they changed the whole paradigm of Western Asia. They were kicked under the rug and would have been forgotten. The United States had made agreements with bootlicking Arab governments to gloss over them, to abandon them, and to make peace with the European settler Zionist state of Israel. Israel is a European Zionist settler project. It's the last settler project that has started over 300 years ago. It's the last one. And they will go down just like the rest of these crackers will go down. But like Curtis Mayfield said, these Zionists, they know they're on their last leg. They know the world is turned against them, and they reveal their hand to everybody. We have a new generation of young people that have taken to the streets, that have gotten out on the streets, that's being arrested now as we speak, all around the world. It's a new generation. So brothers and sisters, our job is to educate to liberate. Our job is to make sure that these young folks have the type of guidance, have the type of confidence, and have the type of historical memory that they need in order to triumph in this historical moment, in this decline of U.S. imperialism and U.S. hegemony. The Sudan is facing a crisis far more extensive in human terms than what's happening in Palestine and the genocide. Almost 1 million people are on the verge of starvation. 20 million people have been displaced from their homes. And the major architects of this is the United Arab Emirates, who are supplying arms, and the United States, who is supplying arms to the United Arab Emirates to change the paradigm of the Sudan. We have to understand who our enemies are and give them no quarter. Give them no quarter. When they come out to speak, we should be there to smack them down, to yell them down, to shout them down. Don't let our enemies speak. They won't let us speak. They lock us up. Don't let them speak. We have to do more than just talk about organizing. We have to stand firm against the oppressors and against these ravagers and these pirates and these enemies of the sun. So I just want to say this in closing and let the program move on. Because this is my comrade Mumia's 70th birthday. He's a baby. He was a baby then. He was 15 then when he was a deputy lieutenant of information. He's a baby now. But he's our baby. And we will free him. And I will say one thing. That just like when Huey P. Newton was in prison, we had a saying say, free Huey or the sky's the limit. So we need to build an infrastructure. We need to build the type of organizations that could exact the consequence on this system, on these pigs, if they do not free our comrade, our brother. We can't just demonstrate. We have to understand what they have in plan for us. What they're doing in Palestine, they will do to us. So we need to make this clear. We need to train. We need to organize. We can't mourn, we have to organize. We have to build to win. We have to do all of these things that require our struggle and our sacrifice and our dedication. So I just want to say in ending, Sister just flashed the 1 minute silence, but you know, I don't usually recognize stuff like that. But I'm going to do this now out of courtesy because I got to get in the wind. But I just want to say I'm humbled to be here. I'm fortunate to be here, all the way from Africa. I'm here. And the comrades from the Ghana Socialist Party, they send their freedom in their struggle. The comrades from PACA send their freedom in their struggle. Back in the days when we were united with the Palestinian movement, when we had a functioning, unified alliance with the PFLP in 1967, in 1968, 1969, when one of the sisters here who was in the international section, she understood, daily she saw the movements that passed through the doors of the international section of the Black Panther Party. Well, we have to forge those alliances again. And right now in Vienna, brothers and sisters are taking to the streets to free Mumia, to call for an end to the genocide in Palestine. So we need to say in solidarity to all of these people, power to the people, power to all of our people, and death to the fascist pigs. Power to the people.
On our way out, I want to hold up for 1 minute. I want to say something to the young people in this audience. I'm always asked, what can we young people do? We didn't have a blueprint, and y'all do have one because you have what we've struggled to do. So y'all get out there and make a name for yourself, do it your way, and come to any of us OGs, and we will give you advice and help you to work things out. I just want y'all to know that. We're here for you, but we are old people, and I want you to also pray for a lot of the elder Panthers that are ill. I won't call them out by name, but there are a lot of elder Panthers that are ill. So, young people, do you. Make your mark, and come call Auntie anytime you want.
There you go. Give it up again, y'all. Give it up again, y'all. Give it up again. Give it up again. Show them your love. Show them your love. Show them your love. Show them your love.
What's the call? What's the call? From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Amazing. As we continue into moving into our final speakers, something that I wanted to just name and touch on that I appreciated that I heard earlier was how Mumia is, not was, right, is such a major influence for teaching our young people how the spirit of rebellion and resistance, it's inherent in us, right? I know that because I have a little one here who practices her resistance daily, right? Steps into her political power. Comrade Gigi, as we call her in some circles. But right, just talking about what Mumia represented so much, right? When he was organizing in front of Benjamin Franklin High School, right? Talking to young people, knowing the crap they were getting in the schools was not teaching them their history or their inherent worth to resisting the state and the system that they're in, and talking about how important it was to see young people excited to leave their classrooms because they knew the real lessons were in the streets, right? And we know Mumia has taught us so much that our work, our study, and our lessons are in the streets, and that it's up to us to always tell the truth because we know the media will not do it for us, right? They will sell us the neoliberal, the imperialist language, right? The fascist language of oppression. But we know that it's up to us to have our own media, our own content, our own images, our own messages, right? Our own t-shirts that represent the truth. So without further ado, I'm gonna welcome the brother whom we know from Black Power Media to come on in and drop this knowledge on us.
I love y'all, and I respect what the sister said, but I did too much damn work to be relegated to Black Power Media. Black Power Media been around 3 years. I've been organizing for 37 years. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you, sister, not a diss towards you. I'm just saying, like, sometimes folks, sometimes folks look at you like a YouTuber, as one of the young folks said. You know what I'm saying? And that ain't me. I'm an organizer. I'm a freedom fighter. I'm Molotov, I'm scorched earth. You understand what I'm saying? So don't get it fucked up because y'all see me on the screen. I'm saying that, and I'm talking like this today because of the fact that Mumia must be free. Did y'all hear what I said? Mumia must be free. Am I wrong? And the last hour or so with Noelle Hanrahan, I want to give it up to her because of the fact that she was kind enough to invite me out there to go see a brother that I started organizing. One of the reasons why I started organizing in 1987 at 16 years old. We didn't talk about, man, it's messed up about being in jail. We didn't just have a whole bunch of political chatter. We do that on Black Power Media, right? We do that on RSTV. I wanted to talk to Mumia. I didn't come in the capacity of a journalist. I came in the capacity of a brother, of a comrade, of a fellow freedom fighter. That's why I was there. And you know what? I'm gonna share a little bit about what we talked. You know what we talked about? You know what we did? We laughed a lot. We talked shit. I ain't know Mumia talk so much shit. I'm gonna just say it just like that. There's no other way to describe it. Mumia is a funny, funny guy. He's a brilliant man, but he's a funny guy. He has an excellent sense of humor. And I like for my comrades, folks like Chairman Fred and Deruba and all of them, we laugh when we get together. We ain't just walk around looking angry with red, black, and green drawers on. We enjoy ourselves. We talk shit. We probably talk about some of y'all, because some of y'all on some bullshit. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. Some of y'all know damn well you can be doing better. Right? Now, I didn't come here to tell you that because you already know that. I ain't come to tell you what you already know. I ain't Captain Obvious. But at the end of the day, it's gonna take more than us just showing up for an event. It's gonna take some action. It's gonna take some groundwork. I'm looking here today, and for many of us, when we were younger, we looked at a lot of these political prisoners as our heroes. I remember there was a poster, Set the Captives Free, remember that? And it had all of these different comrades on it. And I was looking at that poster recently, and the majority of those comrades are now ancestors. Many of them was released, and some of y'all claim victory because of the fact that they got a compassionate release. Don't claim no victory when it's a compassionate release. We're grateful that they get released, but don't act like they got out because of your ass. We keep pleading on the mercy of the state. I looked out here today and I saw Sundiata Acoli. I looked out here today and I saw Deruba. I looked out here today, I saw folks like Bob Boyle, right, the movement attorney. I looked out here today and I just saw so many beautiful faces from so many different places, right? People who undoubtedly love our people. You have to be a special type of person to risk it all. You have to be a special type of person. Mumia Abu-Jamal, when I left that prison yesterday, I was charged. I was charged. And we was cracking jokes, we was talking shit. The Ruba said, hey man, tell Mumia I love him and tell him he's still a baby, what he said here today. So I told him, I said, hey man, the Ruba said, you still a baby. He laughed and he said, the Ruba's just mad because I said he was loquacious. And then we was leaving and whatnot, we embraced and everything. I'm walking. He said, oh yeah, one more thing. I said, what's up? He said, tell the Ruba I'm gonna fuck him up. And we just started laughing even louder because of the fact that this is, we get used to the man on these commentaries. You get used to the brilliance of the man around the books and all that. That's beautiful. But we are human. And as Che talked about, to paraphrase, he said, what? Revolution is an act of what? Love. That's why we here, right? Now, some of y'all are still caught up that I came up here in the first part and I start cursing. I see some of y'all got your nose turned up. I don't give a shit. You can't mess with me. I just look like this. Don't get it twisted. I don't care about a church unless we got a Nat Turner tradition in that church. This is a house. America's a house, but America's a burning house. I met with the French delegation here earlier today. And I was grateful because of the fact that one of the brothers spoke English, he was translating, and the rest, they had questions, they had comments, so on and so forth, but it's like they traveled many miles to get here. And they was here the last 20 years, as far as I know. I remember they were at the 20th year anniversary when we came down. His 50th birthday. And I remember the 60th birthday. And here we are, Mumia is 70 years old. Mumia went to prison, that case took place. I was 11 years old. I just turned 11. That happened 4 days after my 11th birthday. That's how long he's been. I'm 53, I'll be 54 this year. The man's been locked up since I was 11. Y'all understand what I'm saying? My oldest grandchild is 16. You understand what I'm saying? This is the reality of it. I'm happy today because I see so many beautiful faces. It's like a family reunion. But we must not lose sight of why we're here. A lot of y'all came up to me today, yeah, we love what y'all doing on Black Power Media, so on and so forth. We're grateful. We're grateful for that. But like I said, we gotta be more than just the men on the mic. That's all cute. But when we get off that stage, when we leave here, we saw these veteran Panthers and whatnot, and we saw all these great speakers, so on and so forth. But guess what? We heard Mumia, but Mumia is still up in that damn coal mine. He's literally in a coal mine. This is like Pennsylvania, and it's a coal town. If anybody, that don't know, I'm just telling you straight up. So folks are asking like, well, how is he? What condition he is? The man's been locked up damn near 43 years. You tell me what condition he's supposed to be in. Huh? But I say today that he was in great spirits. He's a beautiful man. And like I said, he was such an inspiration to me, and he will continue to be. But right now, I come to you saying that we have to do better. As Nkrumah talked about, we got to put aside our petty differences. But we also have to be clear that counterinsurgency is alive and well. Counterinsurgency is alive and well. We talk about COINTELPRO in passing. We talk about like it was a thing to pass, the 70s and the 60s and so on and so forth. It's a lot of folks who are looking to derail movement right now. Right now, I hate to sound like Nas said hip hop was dead. The movement is damn near dead. Because some of y'all, I don't know where the hell you moving to. Movement is about action. And movement is not just about, I fed some people some funky bread and some jelly and some sandwiches, and we went on Facebook and we talked about, oh, what a great job we did. Movement is not about reinventing or remixing the 60s. We have to create our own legacy. We have to fight to get folks like Veronza Bowers out. We have to fight to get folks like Kamal Siddiqui out. We got to fight to continue to see our brothers and sisters come home, not when it's 5 days before they're scheduled to die, not till they're on their last breath and you can hardly feel their pulse in their bodies. That's played out. That's played out. So I ask you all, how many of y'all ready for revolution? How many of y'all ready for revolution? Clap your goddamn hands if you're ready for revolution. Some of you putting your fists up like this. I'm like, where am I at? I'm wrapping up. But if you're serious about our people's liberation movement, you'll look at folks like Mumia, you look at Leonard Peltier, who has been locked up 48 years, has every kind of medical condition you could think of, blind. I mean, I had his attorneys and folks on our show recently, and she was running off so much stuff what was wrong with him. I was waiting to say he's also 8 months pregnant. That's how many medical situations he has. Everything's jacked up. You understand what I'm saying? And we're sitting back with the T-shirts and all that. We have to take this to another level. We have to organize. We have to build a united front. And we have to move with force. And until then, and only then, we will be victorious. I love y'all, I appreciate y'all, and I hope that everything I said, you understood in a way of love and not of arrogance or not of disrespect. Peace to y'all.
Give it up again, y'all. Give it up again. Kalonji Tamashanga, y'all. Long-time organizer and revolutionary all around the world. I remember we were having the Locks conference here in Philadelphia. He will also come up for that too. Rest in power to Mama Akoso Sabri. If you know, you know. Hopefully some of you have been able to watch a podcast on YouTube called The Classroom and the Cell, or possibly even read the book. Maybe you've been able to read the writings of his daily YouTube, but more importantly than that, as Kalonji alluded to, building institutions by way of Uncle Bobby's Coffee and Books, authoring several books himself, speaking on behalf of Mumia Abu-Jamal many times over the years, on behalf of all the press people everywhere. And I can remember, if I can just share this as I'm bringing him up, being on a plane with this brother, coming from Palestine, and everybody was sleeping and everybody was watching movies. This brother's at his seat, typing away. I kept looking over like through the seat, like what is he typing? He's typing. And we landed in New York City, and he said, "Yeah, I got to be at the UN in about an hour." And that would become a very unforgettable moment in time as we watched this brother give this speech and share those words from the river to the sea. But in the spirit of boldness and humanity, speak truth to power in the most sincere and authentic way. He's a brother of ours, he's a brother of yours, and he's committed at every turn. Even when he's got multiple things going on, he's going to be here. And so with that being said, family, what we're going to do is bring up Mark Lamont Hill.
Free the land. That's a mic right here. I know it's about time to go home, and I apologize for being here so late. It's been a crazy day in about 4 cities. But I couldn't not be here for my brother, Mumia Abu-Jamal. This is a moment of multiple things. First, this is a moment of remembrance. You know, Mumia has made it to the age of 70. That is a victory in and of itself. They didn't want Mumia to live to be 70 or 60 or 50 or 40. The prison that he's in, the prisons that he's been in, the dungeons that he's been forced to live in inside of SCI this and SCI that have been designed and constructed like they had been for everybody else to kill us, to destroy our spirits, to destroy our minds, to destroy our families, to destroy our communities, and ultimately to destroy ourselves, our bodies, our lives. And Mumia is a testimony to what happens when you struggle, when you resist, and when you fight. But you don't do it as an individual, you do it as a collective. Mumia's 70th birthday is a celebration for him, but it's a celebration for every single person that has rolled up their sleeves, put their hand to the plow, and done the work of making sure that the state keeps their hands off of our brother. And I see so many people here, whether it's Betsy, whether it's Pam, whether it's Gabe, whether it's Johan. I can name so many people, Brother Mike, so many people here. In an individual effort, even at the level of resistance, we only win when we struggle together. We don't need no celebrity activists. We don't need no brands. We need reputations. We need people who are willing to struggle and sacrifice for the movement, and that's what Mumia has always done. I always sort of tease Mumia about the books he writes. Because he writes, first of all, he writes so many of them. And I wrote a book with Mumia, and people think I write fast. I send Mumia something, he sent it back in like 2 days, the whole chapter done. And I said to him, why do you not write about yourself more? You wrote one book that kind of gets at your experience. This is somebody who's been railroaded, somebody who's been lied on, somebody who has been, from the very moment he entered those handcuffs, been completely, not just mistreated, but been a model for how the United States picks and chooses who they want to prosecute, picks and chooses when they want to use the Constitution, picks and chooses when they believe in justice, because for every single time we've gone to that courthouse, there has been a Mumia exception. Every single time. He could have written books on how the Constitution has failed him. He could have written books on how judges pretend to be impartial, but people like Judge Sabo decide that they're going to be the judge, jury, and executioner. They're going to be the prosecutor and the defense attorney. They're going to be the decider of somebody's fate, even if it flies in the face of everything that America says it's supposed to be. He saw that. He could have written books about that. He could have signed away scripts to have movies made about him. But what he did instead is spend his life fighting for other people. He's written far more about the Move 9 than he has himself. He's written far more about the atrocity that happened on Osage Avenue than he's written about himself. He's written far more about those brothers who don't have death row, who don't have life sentences, but who still need a jailhouse lawyer. He's written about that. Why? Because Mumia said it ain't about me. It's about us. And so it's a day of celebrity, but it's a day of remembrance, but it's also a day of celebration, but it's also a day of purification. We got to purify our commitment to struggle. We got to remind ourselves of why we got here, because all of us can get caught up in this. All of us can get caught up in who get the mic last, who get the biggest name, who get the biggest shout out, who gets the shout out in the book, who gets the shout out at the rally, who gets the shout out on the rap verse, who gets this, who gets that. We all can get, I know I can, we all can get caught up in that. But when we come back to the fact that this man has been on death row for most of his adult life and now sits in slow death row with a life sentence that he does not deserve, when we look back at that, we got to remember that our commitment ain't to us, it's to them. And it isn't just about Mumia. Mumia is a model for a state that continues to lock up people for their political positions. A state that continues to have more political prisoners than the so-called axes of evil, the so-called bad nations. We talk all that stuff. We do all that red baiting. We talk all that stuff about China and Cuba, all these lies. But at the very same time, we continue to cage more people than anybody else in the world. He is a marker of that crisis. Today's also a day of victory, though. Because sometimes when you struggle and you don't win, you can start to think about this like it ain't worth struggling for no more. I'll never forget, we were at the Constitution Center. You were there, you were there, you were there, you were there, you were there. We celebrated Mumia getting off death row. And some white leftists pulled me aside after I left the Constitution Center. He said, "What's wrong with you, man? What are you up here celebrating Mumia for? He's still on slow death row," which we all agreed on. I mean, he still got life. How are you celebrating anything? Shame on all of you all for celebrating. He still got life. This isn't a victory, this is a loss. I was like, damn, that's heavy. I started feeling bad, Johanna, for feeling good. I was ashamed of myself for being proud that people like Pam, the long distance runners, had got him free off of death row. I said, damn, here I am thinking that we done did something and we ain't did nothing. About a month later, I went to Graterford, visiting Mumia. And I went to see him and I gave him a hug. It's the first time I hadn't seen him at SCI Green on death row. And I told him, I said, Mumia, yo, I gotta tell you something. I like to tell Mumia because he's smarter than me, he read more. So I was like, I gotta tell him that, you want to tell your old heads you got something. I was like, yo, bro, I'm in on this. I found out, I thought about it, man, this ain't no victory. This is a loss. We ain't did nothing. Mumia looked at me and he said, shit. He said, anybody who say that ain't never been on death row. He said, we did a whole book together and we did it behind concrete and steel. Now I gave you a hug for the first time. He said, I hadn't seen Wadia and been able to kiss Wadia in years, but I could do it. His beloved wife, may she rest in peace. He said, I could do it because of what y'all did. I got grandchildren who I could hug for the first time. I was doing 23-1 for most of my life. I was deprived of human contact, and now I got it. What do you mean it wasn't a victory? Thank you. Because of your struggle, we can fight to live another day and live to fight another day so that one day I could be free, but more importantly, we can all be free. Celebrate the victories. Celebrate the victories. If not for you and you and you and you, Mumia wouldn't be here celebrating the 70th. And maybe if not for Mumia, we wouldn't be here right now with the political clarity to know that we got more work to do. Because it's also a day of re-energization. I'm going to make up a word, Jesse Jackson, re-energization. We got to get re-energized for the next phase. Because we pat ourselves on the back, but we keep going. It's like we tell our kids at them 8th grade graduations, when they got the limos and the suits, cool, but you still got to go to high school. Still got work to do. If Mumia does not come home, or if, as my brother said, if Mumia comes home in some liberal, self-congratulatory stunt to bring our brothers and sisters home 1 week before they die, or 1 month before they die so that they can pretend that they had mercy, then we have not succeeded. Not because of the outcome, but because of our failure to keep fighting. The victory is in what? The struggle. And we will continue to struggle for Mumia. But we won't let Mumia become a celebrity prop either, because he don't want that. We will fight for Mumia, but we will fight for every brother, sister, man, woman, and child that's inside of those dungeons right now, because every prisoner is a political prisoner in this white supremacist capitalist empire. And we're going to fight to free them all. Somebody say, free them all. Free them all. Free them all. And so that's the work we got to do. But as I said, the celebration ain't individual. The remembrance ain't individual. And so the struggle can't be individual. We got to organize. Organized people defeat organized power every time. So let's organize. Let's join movements. We ain't got to start an organization. Everybody ain't got to start something. I go places, 50 black people in 25 organizations. Everybody president and vice president. That's not our struggle. That's not our tradition. Our tradition is organized, fighting, resisting. Somebody might be in front, but somebody else got to be organizing. Somebody got to be bailing somebody out of jail. Somebody got to be doing political education. Somebody got to be doing confrontation. Somebody got to be doing study. Somebody got to be doing healing. Somebody got to be doing praying. All of it matters in this struggle. So find your place. Find your role, submerge your ego, remember our ancestors, and continue to fight for the legacy of our brother, Mumia Abu-Jamal. Brick by brick.
Give it up, y'all, for Michael Lamar Hill, y'all.